Surprising to say the least. But not surprising in that it was good, but surprising in that I enjoyed it more than I thought it would. There, that's the review. Bye. I was expecting way worse from this movie.
Yeah.
I was, and I'm pleasantly surprised by how much I wound up enjoying the movie. Not because of legitimate reasons, though. Let's make that first and foremost clear. I did not like this movie because it was a good movie. I wound up liking this movie because it was just a fun, bad movie. I mean, we're not talking like bad in the same way that you would see on MST3K.
No, it's not that kind of over the top bad, but
it has enough goofy, silly moments and unintentionally goofy, silly moments in the movie to keep you, to keep that reptilian part of your brain satiated, and it's it's a fun experience if you know what you're going in for. Oh, before we get any further, I want to make an on-screen apology. Last vlog, we made some jokes about Tehran, and that just highlighted our ignorance, our geographical ignorance, not knowing that was.
Yeah, that was a little embarrassing.
That was embarrassing, and if any of my Iranian viewers out there who happen to see this, we're very sorry. And there is not an ounce of sarcasm. There is not an ounce of facetiousness behind this.
Nope.
It is honest to goodness. We're sorry for being geographically ignorant. But that still doesn't excuse that fucking movie for not explaining why the fuck they're there in Iran to begin with.
Yes, but that's a review
But that was a review pass, and Spoonie.
You haven't seen it.
We actually tried to start Spoonie's RoboCop review. 3 fucking hours he ranted on that.
Was it 3 hours?
Well,
we didn't watch the full thing.
But it was part 1 of 3, and that was an hour and 15.
So we do that when we have more time.
But that was like an hour and 15. Yeah. It's like, God, that guy can rant. But I'm with him. That movie fucking sucked.
Yeah.
But again,
I didn't hate it as much as this guy, and this guy didn't hate it as much as Spoonie.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess that makes me easy to impress.
I think you just came in with low expectations, and
not that I was impressed, but I mean,
you came in with low expectations.
Yeah, I came in with suitably low expectations, knowing it wouldn't be Peter Wells.
Peter Weller.
Peter Weller.
Actually, that was another count on that vlog.
That was another thing, is I call him Peter Wells instead of
Peter Weller.
And I did it again, so.
Yeah, we're sorry, Peter. He really is a fan. He really is a fan.
So we have another apology to make to Peter Weller. That
we're sorry we got your name wrong.
Yeah.
But again, back to Pompeii. I think the first thing that you're going to find out about this movie is that it's not really a disaster movie. I think we were all coming in expecting a disaster movie. We were expecting, what was it, Volcano, or what was that Pierce Brosnan volcano flick?
Oh God, Mount
Doom or something?
No, not Mount Doom.
Mount Doom, no. It was like a Mount... I don't know. It was like Mount negative adjective. But Dante's Peak, right?
Dante's Peak.
Yeah, it was Dante's Peak. And we were expecting that. We didn't get it. Instead, what we got was...
Gladiator.
We got watered-down Gladiator, which... Yeah. I'll be the first to admit I can get behind a Gladiator movie. I can get behind as long as the fight scenes are good. I can get behind a Gladiator movie, and aside from the shaky cam, and sometimes the shots were a little too close, there was some good Gladiator fights, and at least you have that part. You have that part intact. I mean, that's one thing I can't take away from this movie. The Gladiator fights were pretty cool, and they were thrilling, and they were just like what you expect. You weren't invested in the characters at all. God, you weren't invested at all in the characters, but at least you could look at that and say,
no, you could 9 times out of 10 predict what they were going to say, or at least thereabouts,
But as far as action is concerned, it tickled the right spots.
Yeah.
Unlike RoboCop, but again, we're keeping going.
Yeah, they had some good, shield bashing.
Some
swords getting chopped in half and stuff.
And like phalanxes formed and spears chucked. It was, what you want to see in a Gladiator movie, and you got that. And I applaud this movie for at least giving us, for giving us and delivering what we expected, which so far this year is above expectation.
I didn't expect it to be a full-on Gladiator movie, to be honest.
No, neither did I.
No. So I wouldn't say it delivered what I expected, but I mean, what I would expect from a movie that was a gladiator movie.
You know, I think what was about halfway...
We figured it out early on, though.
Yeah,
it was pretty obvious which way they were going with this.
We were about maybe out of the first act. We realized, wait a minute, they're not. It's not just going to be like them trying to escape lava.
Yeah.
So after the first act, we're like, wait a minute, this is just going to be Gladiator with Dante's Peak at the end.
That's what it was.
And that was.
But they would, of course, they had countless shots of the volcano before it erupted. They would constantly have a scene going, then they kind of pan up and be like, there's
Mount Vesuvius.
There's Mount Vesuvius.
There's Vesuvius.
That's going to happen. Just keep waiting for it. We promise it will happen.
Actually,
there will be chaos. People will be, preserved in ash.
You know what was weird? I just realized they never called it Mount Vesuvius.
They called it The Gods Are Angry.
They called it The Gods Are Angry, but they never called it Mount Vesuvius. And, which I found weird, but I guess, I think there's this weird sort of directorial decision-making about this movie. Is like, they keep showing Mount Vesuvius, and it's, rumbling. And, it's for the stupid people in the audience, essentially. It's like, remember...
Yes, the stupid people in the audience. Is he Pompeii?
Wait, are we still in Pompeii? Like, oh, yeah, there's that mountain, there's the volcano. Yep, we're still in Pompeii. On one hand, it's kind of stupid person filmmaking in that regard. But on the other hand, I was surprised by how earnest it played itself. Because this could have easily been a self-aware, intentionally schlocky movie. As if, that's the hip way to excuse itself for being schlocky. But I think it had the good presence of mind to try to play itself as sincere as possible. Mm-hmm. And for the most part, the actors are in on it. And they're not, we'll get to that. We'll get to him in a bit. But there's no real weak link as far as the acting is concerned. I mean, I was expecting Kit Kittredge, Handsome Boy Stark from Game of Thrones.
Yes, Handsome Boy Stark.
Handsome Boy Stark from Game of Thrones is in the movie.
Al Snow. Al Snow.
Al Snow, yeah. And he plays this. He plays a Celt who gets captured by those
awesome drawn-on abs.
Oh yeah, too.
Great, yeah. He comes out of the gates, and
he gates it. He's a slave for like 2/3 of his life,
and boy, he's
like, it's like Conan the Barbarian. Like, he's been enslaved since he was a kid, and he comes out of being a slave to have
he's got this blush of health, man.
Like, he's ripped. I mean, he looks like he's been doing like K96. No, what was it, like P90X? Yeah, it looks like he's been doing.
He would have fit in great in 300.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
How about you want to bet that Paul W.S. Anderson wanted to make 300 too, but he wound up making Pompeii instead?
That's exactly what it felt like. But he was also a big fan of the Gladiator.
I know, dude.
There were countless moments in there. There was just
like the first fight. I predicted there would be like that speed up, slow down kind of action, and we did get that, but it wasn't as gratuitous as I thought it would be.
Well, it wasn't 300 slow down.
It wasn't 300 slow down.
Sword.
But this was
which I was okay with.
Yeah,
I've seen it enough.
But this was W.S. Anderson, and you were thinking that he was going to Resident Evil this shit during the fight scenes.
Yeah.
And credit to W.S. Anderson, he reined himself in when it came to that. I was expecting like Mila Jovovich level of godliness from this guy, and to an extent you did see that. Like this character is so strong, he could break a horse's neck just like. Boop.
Yeah, so he's a.
Yeah, like.
Do you want to just start with him?
Yeah, let's start with him.
A lot of the things I want to say.
Well, I want to set up the scene. Like he's being led to Pompeii from Londonium, as it were. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right. Correct me if I'm mistaken Latin.
We're gonna end up saying that. We're gonna end up saying that a lot, aren't we?
Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong.
After the last video.
But he's being led to Pompeii on a slave chain gang, and then inconveniently the daughter of the regent of Pompeii just happened to walk by, and of course. She sees Kit, trussed up.
It is it's that slave moment.
So like, oh, there's something different about him. He's white. That's pretty much it.
Like me.
So the wagon they're in hits a pothole, and then this
a convenient hole.
Yeah, and the yoke on the horse that draws it breaks one of the vertebrae inside the horse's neck. And so what does he do? He asks to be untrussed. He goes over to the horse,
puts his hand on it.
Puts a hand on it, tells the princess,
you're going to have to hold here,
so he doesn't feel this. And then just like he's opening up a soda can, he just does this, and the horse is dead, and like the princesses or whatever, is like the daughters, like
he has a gift.
No, the daughter's black best friend who happens to be in the car in the carriage with her. Looks at that. It's like, what did he do? And he said, the kindest thing he could have done for that horse. And it's like, that's what I nearly like. This movie's not going to be as bad. If there was going to be moments like that, that was going to be at least make this movie bearable. And
absolutely.
And I think but that moment of strength showed off continues out throughout that movie.
Yes, it was exposition for what he can do.
And
what he does do.
Like, all
very
of
often.
Like, another slave, the bad slave,
yes,
decides, like, he killed his brother in another gladiator fight, so he tries to kill him and drown him in water. And so what does he do? Like, bites two of his fingers clean off.
You don't know it at first. You just think that he bit his finger.
And to get him to let go of his head.
But after he's inevitably beaten the man.
Yeah.
Oh my God! You can see the bone.
Like all two fingers are gone. Like the last two fingers of his right hand is gone. And he did that in one bite. What is it like? He's like part crocodile.
Yeah.
Like,
then I was waiting for he files his molars
he's
got the bite of a crocodile.
He's just like he's like the male Mila Jovovich in this movie. He is just awesome in all ways possible. I mean, if Paul W.S. Anderson could get away with having Mila Jovovich be take Kit's place in this movie, he would have. I mean, it's like he wrote this. It's like he had a hand in the making of this movie on writing wise. It's like, no, we're just going to put my wife in this fucking movie.
And I had no problem with him in Game of Thrones.
No.
I mean, I think I've seen him more than you.
Yeah, you have.
So I would say,
he's not a bad actor. He's not a.
He never was one of the best for me in Game of Thrones as far as acting, but he never was bad to me. And in this movie, I don't know if it was the writing or if it was the voice that he put on, which was like Batman, to be honest, the whole time.
Yeah, he was just like really this gravelly, monotone guy. I mean, like in the beginning of the film, you see like his entire backstory. Parents killed right in front of him by Roman soldiers, and then the heartless Roman centurion just starts lopping heads off.
He's kind of like the pepper spray guy.
Yeah,
but with a sword.
Yeah, it's like
swish, swish. Wait,
swish. And then who should show up in this movie? None other than Kiefer fucking Sutherland.
Shows up smirk on his face when he shows up. Like, yeah, I'm in this movie.
And
it was like he was taken right off the set of 24 and put in armor.
Yeah,
that's what I said.
He's
right off the set. So he's got the same haircut.
It's like Kiefer Sutherland is one of the most. Is probably the most distracting casting choice I've seen in a long time. Yes. It's Kiefer fucking Sutherland, and he's not a bad actor.
No, he's Kiefer Sutherland.
He's not a bad actor, and he wasn't bad in this movie. En contraire, he was probably the life of the movie. He plays the main bad guy, and he plays him like
his voice, his accent, as it were, is like a cross between like a cross between Shatner and Sean Connery.
Yeah, well, that's what we decided.
Yeah.
So he talks like this.
It's
like, Rom called me. It looks like you need a few investors. You think we're exaggerating? We're not. He every time he was on screen, it was like the movie just lit up. He was just like oh god, I always blank on his name. Guy who played Zod in the last Superman film.
Michael Shannon. Yeah.
He was the Michael Shannon of that movie. Except Michael Shannon's
usually pretty moody, though.
Yeah,
this guy, Kiefer Sutherland, was really happy. It was almost like he was really happy to be in this movie.
Yeah, I know.
It's like he's been waiting for a movie to come along so he could play the senator.
Or he could play just like this over the top, over the moon, in love with how evil he is, bad guy.
Oh yeah.
And that's him to a spade. Like he basically forces like the regent's, the regent of Pompeii's daughter to marry him to save the slave, to save Kit. He's like,
boy, every action he had in this movie was inspired by "I am pure evil."
It's just like
yes.
He always has like this decadent smile on his face, and he's just kind of.
He had a mustache.
He had like
if he had.
He had like that James Spader kind of look.
He did.
He gave me like that kind of like down his nose look at.
Kind of like if you've seen James Spader in his latest TV show, can't remember the name of it.
Black Files or something like that.
Something.
No, Blacklist.
Blacklist. Yes, it's kind of like that.
Yeah,
except that he's a senator.
He's a senator, and I was thinking, like, wait a minute, is he going to be like the Joaquin Phoenix of this movie? And he is.
Mm-hmm.
But right.
Except he doesn't get the old shank at the end like Joaquin Phoenix does. Someone gets it.
Somebody gets it. Like Joaquin.
They had to have that moment where we'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that, of course. But all right, on the face of it, who did you like better, Joaquin Phoenix in Gladiator or Kiefer Sutherland in this movie?
I can't believe you're asking me that.
Really?
Really? No, Joaquin Phoenix was my favorite part of Gladiator.
Really?
Oh yeah.
To me,
Russell Crowe was really good, and when I was younger, he was my favorite part. As I got a little older, Joaquin Phoenix, that scene, with his father. Mm-hmm. I just wanted you to love me.
But the problem with my Joaquin Phoenix in that movie for me was that I think he was a little too petulant in that movie for me to really grab onto the cheese. Like he was like
he was a bit he was a little like Percy, I guess.
Yeah, he was a little too much like
a
little too much like Percy in Green Mile for my taste. I mean, at least with Kiefer Sutherland in this movie, he kept all the cheese and camp and lost all of the petulance, or except for the sniveling coward end he met. Sniveling, like the coward-like ending he got at the end, which was fitting and I liked. But so we got like these great setups for like great moments in this movie, for not for great cinema, but just for great viewing experience. And you're about halfway through the movie, going through the motions of the slave fighting his way through all the other gladiators, and he befriends a black gladiator, and we just look at each other and like at any moment he's going to say the line, not yet. He didn't.
He didn't. He even had a little statue.
Yeah, even had a
person.
You still have the statue, but you didn't.
At the end of the movie, right away. Not yet.
But no, that didn't happen. I was actually kind of disappointed that he didn't have that.
Yeah.
I mean,
he didn't have his little moment like that. Well, he had a loud moment.
He had a loud moment. I mean,
it would have been better though if it was a little downplayed, I think.
But so one of the more confusing parts of the movie is about halfway through when the Kit is reunited with I'm going to call her the princess, because even though she's not a princess technically, she plays a princess role.
Yeah.
So like she discovers that he has a way with horses, and so a stable of horses is going butt fuck because of the surprise there have been.
The horses can tell there's something fucking wrong
with Pompeii, and there's something like earthquakes going around, and there's this great moment like at the end of the first act where rumbling happens, an entire field collapses, and then one of the stable boys gets swallowed into the earth, and then like everyone else goes about the day as if nothing fucking happened. You don't think like one of the centurions looked at another's like, hey, did you feel that last night? Feel what? Felt your wife last night. Oh! Nothing like that, but I think there was only like one line in the movie where there's like, hey, where did Felix go? That was the extent of that guy's character. I mean, like, true to disaster movie form, there was a disposable character that got it at the earliest convenient time. And yes, he was dark-skinned. And yes, his name was fucking Felix. That was a weird part of this movie. Like, characters, like the black guy, the black slave that Kit befriends, his name is Atticus. A big black guy named Atticus. Maybe the Centurions named him. Maybe it was one of those Toby kind of scenes that we didn't get to see. But we did get a whipping scene. And that, that's where I'm sure Slaver Brian is at the
it wasn't a black guy who was whipped.
It wasn't a black guy who was whipped, but
it was our pretty boy.
It was our pretty boy Kit, but so the
Don't worry, they only got the back.
Yeah. So the horses are spooked, and so the princess sends him in to calm the horses down, and he does, and then the princess goes into the stable and says,
"Oh yes, this is the best part."
This is the best part. Oh. The princess goes into the stable and she asks him, like, "Wow, you're so good with horses." It's like, "Yeah,
I can quell you too."
He holds out his hand and says, "Come with me."
Yes.
He does one of the like, "Do you trust me?" "Do you trust me?" "Yes." "The jump!"
And they break off. The horse kicks down the door, and the guy's in back of it, and they run into
the fields, up to Mount Vesuvius. Yeah. And then, like, all of a sudden, the Centurions start chasing him, and then, like,
but they had this little moment before the Centurions start or get there, halfway there, and it's like, we should run away. And it's like, no, you can't do that.
Then they'll be chasing after you.
Chasing after us. And it's like, well, what would we say? It's like, well, just tell them that was my decision. It's like,
and all right, okay, 3 things in this scene.
Yeah.
1, if you weren't going to run away, why the fuck did you?
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
What are you doing? Did you?
You thought it would be fun to take your dad's horse out for a spin or something?
It was literally like the writers just like every movie's got that part where they're about to go away, and then
but they don't.
So we'll have that in it.
But we don't quite know how that will wind up. Part 2, like, question number 2. Where the fuck were you going to go?
Yeah, where were you going to go with no supplies?
Like, with no supplies, a horse,
And a horse.
Like, all he does is just go up Mount Vesuvius for a bit.
They never explain why they're doing this.
And just as soon as it started, it ends in the most completely out of left field way possible. He gets punished, and now he has to fight like a certain death scene where they reenact the slaughtering of his people.
Yes, and every inch of the way, Kiefer Sutherland is plotting and scheming to find a way to bang this blonde princess.
No, she wasn't blonde.
Well, she was like brunette.
She kind of looked like God, I'm so bad with names. The lead actress from Catching Fire. She had that kind of look about her. She was, God, the internet's crazy about her,
Yeah.
Yeah, like the Hunger Games girl. Silver Linings Playbook.
I wouldn't say she looked like her. She was much skinnier. But anyway,
she was.
Oh God, now I'm doing that. No, she really was a lot skinnier.
Yeah, it was good for you to notice. Good of you to notice.
Yeah, I know.
But so they're as punishment for taking the princess out of the city, he has to fight along with a bunch of other gladiators in this sure death battle where they're chained to this pillar.
Yeah.
And they have to reenact the slaughtering of the Celts, and they're the Celts. But of course, they win, and then they finally realize, hey, this is a Pompeii movie. We should probably have a volcano eruption sometime soon. And then the entire third act is just the volcano raining death on the entire city. And the CG is horrible. It is easily...
Yeah.
It is embarrassing. It is drop dead embarrassing CG. But
in the part where the people are running down the roads, trying to escape, and they literally have the patterns are set to like this.
But careful. Is it empty?
Pretty much.
Okay. So
the point, they literally have it set to that scale where you can see them go down like this, and it's the exact same people doing the exact same thing.
It was just embarrassing CG. Yeah. But that kind of lent a little to its charm, I would think. Because I think, it was obvious it was going to be CG. I mean, there's no other way around it. So I think, making it kind of just scraping the bottom threshold of passable.
Yeah.
Makes this movie at least have a charm to it, or at least an identity to it.
No.
Not to you?
No, not to me.
Yeah, I know you, Mister. I'm tired of CG.
I'm getting really tired of CG. I'm feeling like an old man. Like, God dang it.
Like, what in my day, we would have had a real eruption from a volcano.
Yes.
Pierce Brosnan really did drag that canoe through the lava. That woman... No, I'm sorry. It was actually an old woman who dragged that canoe through the ash water and burnt her lower torso clean to the bone. Yes. I was waiting for that moment. I didn't get that moment.
No.
Fuck.
No, it was PG-13, as much as that could be.
Yeah. So the last third of the movie is just basically what you expected. You know, hot ash.
What you've been waiting for, yeah.
Lava.
Real hot ash.
Hot ash.
Yeah.
Lava just destroying the entire Pompeii. But the soul of the movie, all right, the heart of the movie belongs to Kiefer Sutherland, but the soul of the movie belongs to what looks like, if any of you have seen like The West Wing, Josh from The West Wing.
This guy.
Yeah, this guy. Oh. He basically plays hedonism bot in this movie.
Oh, absolutely.
He owns the gladiators, and he's just like this really fat bearded guy.
He's got these little
curls, like the Caesar curls on his hair. And he's like, oh, I must save myself.
He's the clap my hands for me person. Clap my hands for me.
It's like, feed me grapes. Yes.
So he's the smart guy, though. He's the guy we were rooting for
because he sees like the cracks in the Colosseum before the eruption, and he was just like, "This portends bad things. I shall be off." Yes. And then the next scene, as they're escaping the movie, he's literally on a bed.
He's on one of those like slave-driven bed things, not a carriage, but like literally they're holding up his bed while he's in it with his grapes or his wine glass. And he's faster,
slaves. At this point, like those are the most dedicated, pussy-whipped slaves.
I know.
Like if you were, I don't know if they were chained or if they were brainwashed or they're eunuchs. I don't know. But there has to be an explanation of why.
Well, then probably this guy was their ticket out of there.
Maybe. But I'm thinking, like, if you're weighing yourself down by this bed.
Yeah.
If you're being weighed down by this bed, would you, like, risk being slowed down, or would you just, like, drop it? And just run?
Fuck this shit.
It's these moments that are peppered throughout the movie that elevate it beyond...
we had some laugh out loud moments. We did.
It wasn't a funny bad movie like we said, but it was just an enjoyably bad movie.
Yes.
So the thing about this movie, and the thing about this movie that actually kind of took me by surprise, was the fact that everyone dies. Everyone dies. Spoilers, but everyone dies. Mm-hmm. Like Kiefer Sutherland gets chained up, and is like, yeah, you just have to wait till the hot ash and lava just burn your skin.
You'll just have to wait until the hot ash burns your skin.
She's like, you can't do this.
You can't do this. I'm a senator. I'm a senator.
Oh shit! Who else was in this movie? Was Trinity? The actress who played Trinity.
Oh yes, from. The Matrix.
The Matrix, and
haven't seen her in a while.
No, me neither. And she plays the princess's mom, and it's great because like she has this one scene where like she's dying because of the initial shockwave from the eruption caused the Colosseum to collapse, and she's trapped under a pillar, and she tells her husband, her pussy whipped husband, basically, he's like, kill Kiefer Sutherland.
Yeah.
And he tries, but
what's that?
And then kill him. And then he tries to kill Kiefer Sutherland. He tries to kill Kiefer Sutherland, and Kiefer Sutherland.
He's just like he's doing the obvious snap.
Well, I gotta wait a little longer. Okay. Oh, okay now.
And then there's like a,
is then the sting reverse kill.
Yeah.
It's like really and they had the last moment where she talks with her daughter. No, she didn't talk with her daughter. She talked with Kit. Mm-hmm. Saying, my daughter, she's being locked up in the penthouse, in our Roman penthouse. And then she dies, and I said the first thing I said to Gabe here
the
was
villa, yes,
yeah, the villa. And the first thing I said to Gabe was just like, well, at least this was a quicker death scene than Matrix Revolutions. God, that scene went on forever.
Oh yeah, I try to block out most of that. Thank you.
But it was just, up until that point, it was following the Gladiator style story. And then Dante's Peak hit.
Yeah.
And then just everyone's fucked. The black guy's fucked, although he did have
really fast Ash.
Really fast Ash, which
the cloud was just like it's like this. It was like the Independence Day scene where the fire's going down the city, but except it's not fire, it's just ash. But about that pace.
About that pace, so everyone's covered in ash, even though that wasn't. I mean, I don't want to play the historically inaccurate card as far as this is concerned.
Yeah.
But, I was wondering how they were going to handle that, because I know that the people who were caught in ash in Pompeii were the idiots went back into their houses to try and get their stuff back. Because there was plenty of forewarning to get out of Dodge.
I was hoping they'd show that part a little more,
Yeah,
they didn't really...
No, they treated it like an honest...
They didn't punish the people who were greedy.
They didn't punish... They punished everyone. Everyone dies. Even Hedonism bot. He gets on a ship and he pays his way into a ship. They take off.
He's going. We're going like
yes. He's going to escape.
He's going to make it.
And then a convenient ballistic missile from God from the volcano hits his ship, and
I'm like no. At the end of the credits, we'll see him crawling up on the shore.
He's basically Ron Perlman from Pacific Rim. But no,
didn't happen.
Didn't happen. Fucking shit.
Yeah, the only smart guy.
Only
person who saw all this shit happening and said, "Where's Felix?" Didn't make it out. Darwinism does not win in this movie.
No. But at the same time, everyone dies. And the last shot of the movie. No, wait.
Rich man, poor man, slave man, they all die.
They all die. But I love the fact that
it's an indiscriminate volcano.
Of course, the princess and Kit escape the city. They send the horse away because the horse can't carry the both of them fast enough.
Oh, yes. It was a classic Titanic moment, but except she didn't stay on the plank of wood. She stuck with her lover.
That she's known for 10 minutes.
For 10 whole minutes.
It's like the single most rushed love story you could possibly write.
Yes.
I don't think you could possibly write a love story with fewer scenes than
Hi, I'm good with horses. Hi, I'm pretty. Let's be lovers.
Okay.
Let's go off to this. Let's go over here and climb this mountain.
That's erupting.
That's got a lot of smoke coming out of it.
Well, I don't know. On the second thought, let's not do that.
Maybe we shouldn't, because I don't know where we're gonna go without any supplies. But here comes the Roman soldiers.
Centurions, you're probably gonna get the last shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, we were kind of stupid.
That wasn't a good idea in hindsight.
No, hindsight 2020 and all.
But young, passionate lovers.
Romeo and Juliet in Pompeii. I hate Daddy. But outside of that one stupid scene. I mean, true, there were other stupid scenes, but the legitimate, what? Stupid scene. Take that out of the equation. This was an enjoyably dumb, bad movie. It didn't make you feel stupid for sitting through it. It didn't.
But every turn, it was like gladiator, gladiator, gladiator.
Yeah. I know,
the music, the soundtrack.
Oh, yeah, the music, yes. Yeah. The music especially was like Gladiator. And, but if you were willing to let go of that, it's a Gladiator novel.
At least there weren't any gas tanks on the carriages.
No. No.
I looked. I was peeled. Had my eyes peeled. I didn't see any gas tanks.
No, but there was crappy CG.
That's probably why there wasn't a gas tank. It'd be kind of weird if they put in a CG gas tank.
Actually, that'd be fun.
Just out of respect for Gladiator, I guess.
But like I said, this was a movie that was dumb, but didn't make you feel dumb for watching it.
No, I didn't feel like, oh, I got suckered into this one.
No, it didn't make you feel bad for watching it. And 100 minutes It did not drag its heels. It did not outstay its welcome, and it didn't feel long.
Well, it did to one guy.
Oh yeah, one guy when
right at the
emotional
at the
peak, right at the emotional peak.
And can we just skip to the end for this?
Yeah.
Yes, they're kissing, and like in the poster with the mountain exploding behind them, and yes, they do get preserved very well in ash.
And then that's the revolving shot of them kissing in ash.
And then it fades out.
And then
this guy in the back.
One guy hated this movie. Like this extended. It's like they had this extended coughing.
It's like he's been holding that one in the whole movie.
And like he couldn't, and that was like his last straw. Like the straw that broke the camel's back was that one shot, and he just let out all his frustration in a coughing fit that lasted about a good 10 seconds. And then credits, and then I think he just kind of bolted to the door.
Yeah.
And I swear one girl was crying in that movie.
There was definitely someone who had allergies or was crying.
Was crying in that movie. I was thinking that maybe... Probably.
No, I mean the latter.
Probably actually. The latter. And I'm hoping that she cried. It's like, oh God, that was such a terrible movie.
Yeah.
That was such a terrible movie.
I mean, I have allergies, so, there's been times in movies, I don't cry.
No.
So...
This has been well documented.
Yes. Allergies, it's a thing.
It's an allergies. It's allergies. Allergies, I get it. But, I don't know. Would you recommend seeing Pompeii?
No.
I mean...
Maybe you could rent it.
I think it would be... All right.
Like, we didn't see it in 3D. We didn't feel like we needed to see it in 3D.
No, we didn't. I don't think that movie would have been any more enjoyable in 3D.
It just would have made the horrible CG ash clouds that much worse.
Probably. But, like, on one hand, it's not bad enough to be part of your staple, like, bad movie night.
Don't need to go see it in theaters, that's for sure.
No, you don't need to see it in theaters. But on the other hand, it's just, as far as, like, you want to see a movie that you can get enjoyment out of, but asks no involvement from you in return.
Yeah.
I think that's, it'll do all right. Like, when this eventually winds up on FX, this is going to wind up on FX.
Oh, yes.
Right
next to 2012, John Cusack.
Right next to,
Disaster Week.
Exactly.
That's what it's going to be.
Right before DreamWorks Week.
This one can be fit into the categories of, Gladiator Week, Fighter Week, Action Week, and it can be put into the catastrophe section. So that's what it's got going for it.
It's got going for it. But like I said, it's just one of those movies where it's a good, dumb movie.
Yeah. If you're like at the video store and you're like, I don't know, maybe I feel like a Gladiator movie, or maybe I feel like a disaster movie.
Hey, you got your disaster movie and my Gladiator movie.
Yeah.
You got your Gladiator
Mustard
movie.
mayonnaise. It's got both in one.
It's mustard mayonnaise.
I've been looking all over for a Gladiator volcano movie. Been waiting for one for a long time. Never came out.
Now
there is one.
Now your dreams have come true, and you do not need to live any longer.
Yes.
Oh, God. That was dark.
Yeah,
that was a little dark. Sorry. But, it was a good, dumb movie. And I don't think there needs to be anything said about it, any more said about it. So, see you next week. Okay.
Well, how'd you think of that one?
Yeah, it was